Hey guys, what's up? It's October and the Halloween is coming. So, I have brought an amazing story for you, keeping the Halloween in mind. Yeah, it's about magical mirrors. Have you ever seen that there exist magical mirrors? Maybe you haven't, but today's story is about magical mirrors. You like it? The ghosts. Ooh. So friends, before we go and read and listen to the story, let's go to Gary Tao and let's ask him. Let's find out what he says about the story and what are the themes of today's story. I'll be right back. I'm going to check if any new ghost has come in my room. I'll be right back.
Hello, this is Professor Gary Tao, the narrator of The Three Magical Mirrors, written by the author Rizwan Ahmed Memon. This is a story about Nuru, who goes on a quest to find three magical mirrors from stories that his grandmother has told him. And in the process, what he manages to do is defeat and overcome the ego of a wealthy prince, who then realizes that there is a connection to these mirrors, a connection to Nuru, and it's very important not to forget your heritage and who you are. I believe the author Rizwan has basically managed to execute the message of this story in the way that it's very important for our own self and our own purpose not to forget our heritage and who we are and where we come from. And he also has many other stories of compassion, happiness, joy through sadness and finding purpose in a very difficult world today. I thoroughly enjoyed reading the story, Rizwan. I'm a writer myself and I understand the message that you've presented here, and you've managed to write a very good story and write it in a way which connects to the audience. So thank you.
Hey friends, did you see any ghost in my room? I heard a voice of a door. I don't know where that ghost is lying. I don't know where he is hiding. I'll try to find him a little more. Now you go and read and listen to the story, and don't forget to pay attention to the main message of the story. I'll be back in a moment. Where are you, my ghost? Where are you, my ghost? Are you there? I'm going to find you wherever you are. I know you exist in my room. Where are you, my ghost?
Magical Mirrors by Rizwan Ahmed Memon. All rights reserved. Rizwan Ahmed Memon. .blogspot.com. People often take magical concepts for granted. They think that these are myths or lies of the past. However, the concept of magic is as old as the universe. The great sages of the past not only believed in the magic, but they also learned it. Like other common people, Nuru thought of magic the same way, until he found three mirrors. Nuru was an architect and his ancestors were very famous for their construction skills. In his village Akil, there was an ancient haveli, a mansion, of a woman named Neengar who had died 2 centuries ago. Neengar was a rich landlady of Sindh, and she was interested in the royal culture of Britain. Her haveli looked like an English castle. The landlady was inspired by the castles of the UK, so she wanted her haveli to look like them. She even imported unique and expensive articles from England to make her haveli look like a real castle. It was very capacious. Many rooms were just locked because there was nobody to live in. The landlady had only one son, Basha, who had been living in the mansion with his wife. They had a son named Asad who went to England for studies and continued living there after his education. He even did not attend the funeral of his mother. His old father suffered from loneliness for 15 years and passed away in longing to see his son. After hearing of his father's death, Asad returned from England with his family after 40 years to take over ownership of the mansion. The castle had become dilapidated. He wanted the palace to look new again. He asked for the caretakers of the mansion to advertise in the newspapers about the reconstruction of the mansion and waited to receive the Grand Construction Company's proposals for the mega construction project of the mansion. So perhaps you shouldn't change the shape or design of the castle. It is an inheritance. However, you should make the necessary repairs. You're right. This mansion should remain the same design. By the way, who built it? Nuru's ancestors. Nuru is also a good builder, a chip off the old block. Alright, invite Nuru to the castle. I would like to meet him tomorrow. When Nuru was a boy, his grandmother Fatima used to tell him about 3 magical mirrors in the castle of Neengar. Each mirror had a magical property. The first could see all things in the past, the second could show hidden forces like ghosts, and the third could tell the future. Nuru never believed the magical mirrors existed. He would ask his grandmother whether or not she had seen them. His grandmother used to tell him that she never had seen any of them. Akbar, Nuru's grandfather, would tell her about the powers of those magical mirrors. Akbar had not only worked on the construction of the Haveli, but he had been the head of all the attendants of the castle. He had discovered those mirrors after the landlady's death. Akbar never used the mirrors because he thought it would be a breach of trust. I would like to see those mirrors if I get a chance, Nuru often said to his grandmother. Because of the strong security in the castle, Nuru had never got a chance to enter the castle. In the evening, an attendant of the castle came to see Nuru. "Hey Uncle Bakshal, it's been a long time since I saw you," said Nuru, hugging him. Bakshal was his father's friend and helped Nuru's family after the death of Nuru's father. "I have been sent by Prince Asad. He wants to get the mansion repaired. He has invited you to the castle tomorrow." "What, really?" "Yes." Nuru was going to get a chance to enter the old castle after 4 decades. The prince was a generous man. He said to Nuru, "You will be given a good reward if you return the castle back to its original state." "Sure, Your Highness. The attendants have to tell me the exact shape of the castle, and I will do the repairs." "Well, I don't need any other reward, but only 3 mirrors from this old castle." "Sure, Your Highness. The attendants have to tell me the exact shape of the castle, and I will do the repairs." "Well, I don't need any other reward, but only 3 mirrors from the old castle." The prince laughed at Nuru's demand. "Look at him, folks. He asked for 3 old mirrors instead of gold and silver." All the attendants of the castle laughed at him. "The demand is accepted. You can take any mirror out of the castle," said the prince. Nuru started collecting the mirrors. He found many mirrors in the castle, but he did not make a hustle. He recalled what his grandmother had told him about the mirrors. He said to Bakshal, "Help me find the mirrors I tell you. The first is a circular brown frame mirror with a handle. It is about 8 inches and has a clear dark blue trim. It gives a clear reflection of the blue sky. The second is a circular frameless mirror. Its size is 11 inches and it has a concave which magnifies the image being reflected. The third is almost identical to the first, except that it is cracked and broken. This mirror has an amber trim and severe crack in the bottom half, which detracts from the overall aesthetic." Bakshal was surprised to hear the instructions he gave about the mirrors. "How do you know about these mirrors?" he asked Nuru. "It's a long story. Let's find the mirrors first." After a long search, they eventually found the mirrors. "Why are you looking at these mirrors so closely?" asked Bakshal. "I heard these mirrors are unique," Nuru replied. He took the mirrors home, and he tried hard to recall the spell which was cast on the mirrors. He couldn't remember the spell which his grandmother had told him, so he kept the mirrors at home. Nuru finished repairing the castle and the prince was very pleased with the work. Nuru kept trying different spells for a month, but in vain. As a consequence, he got very angry and dropped the frame mirror on the floor. Luckily, the mirror was not damaged. However, the frame was broken and a white piece of paper came out of the frame. The paper read, "Mirror, mirror of the castle, I order you to show your power." "This is it, this is the spell," shouted Nuru. He hurriedly cast the spell to the mirror he dropped. That mirror could see all things of the past. Then he cast a spell to the frameless mirror. It showed the hidden things and ghosts. He checked the third mirror in the last. It could predict the future. It could tell what will happen in the coming 2 days. Nuru was beside himself. He had become one of the most powerful men on the planet. He was able to see the past, ghosts, and the future. Nuru kept the mirrors to himself for 3 months. He realized that if these mirrors were given to the prince, he would utilize them for the betterment of the people and the world. So he decided to tell the secret of the mirrors to the prince and return them. Nuru did not know that the prince would reward him with the whole castle because his honesty and trust in the prince. The future mirror could predict the future for only 2 days. When Nuru told the secrets of the mirrors to the prince and the attendants of the castle, nobody believed him. Then he took out the paper with the spell written on it and began reading. Nuru continued, casting the spell on each mirror, and showed the prince and his attendants the power of the magical mirrors. The prince could see his sick grandmother through the magical mirror, which showed the past. "How did you know about these magical mirrors, Your Majesty? When I was a kid, my grandmother used to tell me about these magical mirrors, a secret that my grandfather had told her." The prince gave Nuru golden coins as well as silver, and he said to all the people there, "Today we have become so busy that we don't have time for our elders. In fact, what our elders can teach us, we might not be able to learn by ourselves. I wish I had spent more time with my mother and my father, so I could have learned something worthy in my life." After a month, the prince called Nuru and his family and asked them to live with him in the castle with the royal family.
Friends, I've got the ghost. It lives in this shelf. I hope you learned many things from the story and you understood its themes. Remember, friends, that you can learn more about this world if you spend time with your elders and parents, grandparents, and anybody who is older than you. So try to learn as many things as possible from them. I've got my ghost. It is here in this shelf and I'm going to try it. I'll see you next time. Ooh. Remember one thing, friends. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe it. Otherwise, I'm gonna send you my ghost. Okay? Do you understand that? Please click on the subscription button and click on the bell icon. And don't forget to share it. Okay? Otherwise, I will send you my ghost.